Day 273. Luke 10:1. After these things Yeshua appointed another 70 of his disciples, and he sent them 2 by 2 before his presence to every place and city where he was prepared to go. 2. And he said to them, The harvest is great and the workers are few, pray therefore the Elo-heem of the harvest to send workers to his harvest. 3. Go, behold, I am sending you as sheep among wolves. 4. You shall not take for yourselves money bags, nor wallets, nor sandals, and do not greet a man on the road. 5. And to whatever house you enter, first say, Peace to this house. 6. And if a son of peace is there, your peace shall rest upon it, but if not, it will return to you. 7. But stay in that house while you are eating and drinking of what is theirs, for the worker is worthy of his fare, and do not move from house to house. 8. And whatever city you enter, and they receive you, eat anything that is offered to you. 9. And heal those who are sick in it and say to them, The kingdom of YEHOVAH has come near to you. 10. But whichever city you enter and they will not receive you, go out to the street and say. 11. Even the sand that cleaves to our feet from your city we wipe off unto you, yet know this, the kingdom of YEHOVAH has come near to you. 12. I say to you that it shall be pleasant for Sodom in that day, compared to that city. 13. Woe to you Chorazin, woe to you Bethsaida, because if the miracles had occurred in Tyre and Sidon that have occurred in you, they doubtless would have repented in sackcloth and in ashes. 14. Yet for Tyre and for Sidon, it shall be pleasant in the day of judgment compared to you. 15. And you Capernaum, she that was exalted unto heaven, you shall be debased unto Sheol. 16. Whoever listens to you listens to me, and whoever rejects you, rejects me, and whoever rejects me rejects the one who sent me. 17. And those 70 whom he had sent returned with great joy, and they were saying to him, Our Elohim, even the demons are subject to us in your name. 18. But he said to them, I was beholding Satan himself who fell like lightning from heaven. 19. Behold, I have given you authority that you may tread on snakes and scorpions and all the power of the enemy, and nothing will harm you. 20. However, you should not rejoice in this, that the demons are subject to you, but rejoice that your names are written in heaven. 21. And in that hour Yeshua triumphed in the spirit of holiness, and he said, I thank you, my Father, Elohim of heaven and earth, that you have hidden these things from the wise and learned, and have revealed them to infants. Yes, my Father, for thus it was a pleasure before you. 22. And he turned to his disciples and he said to them, Everything has been delivered to me from my Father, and no man knows who the Son is except the Father only, and who the Father is except the Son, and he to whom the Son will be pleased to reveal him. 23. And he turned to his disciples by themselves and he said, Blessed are those eyes that are seeing whatever you are seeing. 24. For I say to you that many prophets and kings have desired to see the things that you are seeing, and they have not seen, and to hear the things that you are hearing and they have not heard. 25. And behold, a scribe arose to test him, and he said, Teacher, what shall I do to inherit eternal life? 26. But Yeshua said to him, How is it written in the law? How do you read it? 27. He answered and he said to him, You shall love Elohim Yehovah your Yehovah from all your heart and from all your soul and from all your strength and from all your mind, and your neighbor as yourself. 28. Yeshua said to him, You have said correctly, do this and you shall live. 29. But as he wanted to justify himself, he said to him, And who is my neighbor? 30. Yeshua said to him, A certain man was going down from Jerusalem to Jericho, and robbers fell upon him, and they plundered and beat him and left him when little life remained in him, and they departed. 31. And it happened a certain priest was going down that road, and he saw him and passed by. 32. And so also a Levite coming arrived at that place, and he saw him and he passed by. 33. But a Samaritan man as he traveled came where he was, and he saw him and he took pity on him. 34. And he came and bound his wounds and poured wine and oil on them and set him on his donkey, and he took him to an inn and cared for him. 35. And at the break of day, he produced 2 denarii and gave them to the innkeeper, and he said to him, Take care of him, and if you spend anything more, whenever I return I will give it to you. 36. Who therefore of these 3 appears to you to have been a neighbor to him who fell into the hands of the robbers? 37. But he said, He who took pity on him. Yeshua said to him, You go and do likewise. 38. And it was that when they were traveling on a road, he entered a certain village, and a woman whose name was Martha received him into her house. 39. And she had a sister, whose name was Miriam, and she came and sat herself at the feet of our Elohim, and she was listening to his words. 40. But Martha was busy with serving many things, and she came and said to him, My Elohim, does it not concern you that my sister has left me alone to serve? Tell her to help me. 41. But Yeshua answered and said to her, Martha, Martha, you take pains and are troubled about many things. 42. But one thing is necessary, Miriam has chosen that good part for herself which will not be taken away from her. James 2. 1. My brethren, do not hold the glorious faith of our Elohim Yeshua the Messiah, with acceptance of persons. 2. For if a man will enter your assembly with a gold ring or fine clothing, and a poor man enters in dirty clothing. 3. And you have regard for him wearing fine clothing, and you say to him, sit well here, and you say to the poor man, stand over there or sit here before our footstool. 4. Behold, are you not divided in your souls and have you not become expositors of wicked reasonings? 5. Hear, my beloved brethren. Is it not the poor of this world, however, who are rich in faith? Yehovah has chosen them to be the heirs in that kingdom which Yehovah has promised to those who love him. 6. But you have despised the poor. Behold, do not the rich have dominion over you and drag you to court? 7. Behold, do they not slander the worthy name, by which you are called? 8. And if you fulfill the written law of Yehovah in this, as it is written, you shall love your neighbor as yourself, you are doing well. 9. But if you show partiality, you are sinning, and you are reproved by the written law as violators against the written law. 10. For whoever keeps the whole written law and slips in one thing, he is condemned by the entire law. 11. For he who said, do not commit adultery, also said, you shall not murder. But if you are not committing adultery, but you have murdered, you have become a violator of the law. 12. So be speaking and acting as a person who is going to be judged by the law of liberty. 13. The judgment is without mercy against him who does not practice mercy, but with mercy, you have dominion over judgment. 14. What good is it, my brethren, if a man says, I have faith, and he does not have deeds? Can his faith save him? 15. And if a brother or sister is naked and lacking daily food, 16. And any of you will say to them, go in peace, be warm, be full, and he would not give them the bodily necessities, what good is that? 17. So also faith alone without works is dead. 18. For a man may say to you, you and I have faith, I have works. Show me your faith without works, and I shall show you my faith by my works. 19. You believe that Yehovah is one, you do well, the demons also believe and tremble. 20. Are you willing to know, O feeble man, that faith without works is dead? 21. Was not our father Abraham justified by works when he offered up Isaac his son upon the altar? 22. Do you see that his faith upheld his deeds, and by deeds his faith was perfected? 23. And the scripture was fulfilled which said, Abraham believed in Yehovah, and it was accounted to him for righteousness, and he was called the friend of Yehovah. 24. You see that by works a man is justified and not from faith alone. 25. In this way also, was not Rahab the harlot justified by works when she received the scouts and sent them out by another way? 26. Just as the body without the spirit is dead, so also faith without works is dead. Numbers 18. 1. And Elo-heem spoke to Aaron, saying, Thou and thy sons and thy father's house shall bear the sins of the holy things, and thou and thy sons shall bear the iniquity of your priesthood. 2. And take to thyself thy brethren the tribe of Levi, the family of thy father, and let them be joined to thee, and let them minister to thee, and thou and thy sons with thee shall minister before the tabernacle of witness. 3. And they shall keep thy charges, and the charges of the tabernacle, only they shall not approach the holy vessels and the altar, so both they and you shall not die. 4. And they shall be joined to thee, and shall keep the charges of the tabernacle of witness, in all the services of the tabernacle, and a stranger shall not approach to thee. 5. And ye shall keep the charges of the holy things, and the charges of the altar, and so there shall not be anger among the children of Israel. 6. And I have taken your brethren the Levites out of the midst of the children of Israel, a present given to Elo-heem, to minister in the services of the tabernacle of witness. 7. And thou and thy sons after thee shall keep up your priestly ministration, according to the whole manner of the altar, and that which is within the veil, and ye shall minister in the services as the office of your priesthood, and the stranger that comes near shall die. 8. And Elo-heem said to Aaron, And, behold, I have given you the charge of the firstfruits of all things consecrated to me by the children of Israel, and I have given them to thee as an honor, and to thy sons after thee for a perpetual ordinance. 9. And let this be to you from all the holy things that are consecrated to me, even the burnt offerings, from all their gifts, and from all their sacrifices, and from every trespass offering of theirs, and from all their sin offerings, whatever things they give to me of all their holy things, they shall be thine and thy sons. 10. In the most holy place shall ye eat them, every male shall eat them, thou and thy sons. They shall be holy to thee. 11. And this shall be to you of the firstfruits of their gifts, of all the wave offerings of the children of Israel, to thee have I given them, and to thy sons and thy daughters with thee, a perpetual ordinance, every clean person in thy house shall eat them. 12. every first offering of oil, and every first offering of wine, their first fruits of corn, whatsoever they may give to Elohim, to thee have I given them. 13. All the first fruits that are in their land, whatsoever they shall offer to Elohim, shall be thine. Every clean person in thy house shall eat them. 14. Every devoted thing among the children of Israel shall be thine. 15. And everything that opens the womb of all flesh, whatsoever they bring to Elohim, whether man or beast, shall be thine. Only the firstborn of men shall be surely redeemed, and thou shalt redeem the firstborn of unclean cattle. 16. And the redemption of them shall be from a month old, their valuation of 5 shekels, it is 20 oboli, according to the holy shekel. 17. But thou shalt not redeem the firstborn of calves and the firstborn of sheep and the firstborn of goats, they are holy. And thou shalt pour their blood upon the altar, and thou shalt offer the fat as a burnt offering for a smell of sweet savor to Elohim. 18. And the flesh shall be thine, as also the breast of the wave offering, and as the right shoulder, it shall be thine. 19. Every special offering of the holy things, whatsoever the children of Israel shall specially offer to Elohim, I have given to thee and to thy sons and to thy daughters with thee, a perpetual ordinance. It is a covenant of salt forever before Elohim, for thee and thy seed after thee. 20. And Elohim said to Aaron, Thou shalt have no inheritance in their land, neither shalt thou have any portion among them, for I am thy portion and thine inheritance in the midst of the children of Israel. 21. And, behold, I have given to the sons of Levi every tithe in Israel for an inheritance for their services, whereinsoever they perform ministry in the tabernacle of witness. 22. And the children of Israel shall no more draw nigh to the tabernacle of witness to incur fatal guilt. 23. And the Levite himself shall perform the service of the tabernacle of witness, and they shall bear their iniquities, it is a perpetual statute throughout their generations, and in the midst of the children of Israel, they shall not receive an inheritance. 24. Because I have given as a distinct portion to the Levites for an inheritance the tithes of the children of Israel, whatsoever they shall offer to Elohim, therefore I said to them, in the midst of the children of Israel, they shall have no inheritance. 25. And Elohim spoke to Moses, saying, 26. Thou shalt also speak to the Levites, and shalt say to them, If ye take the tithe from the children of Israel, which I have given you from them for an inheritance, then shall ye separate from it a heave offering to Elohim, a tenth of the tenth. 27. And your heave offerings shall be reckoned to you as corn from the floor, and an offering from the winepress. 28. So shall ye also separate them from all the offerings of Elohim out of all your tithes, whatsoever ye shall receive from the children of Israel, and ye shall give of them an offering to Elohim to Aaron the priest. 29. Of all your gifts ye shall offer an offering to Elohim, and of every first fruit the consecrated part from it. 30. And thou shalt say to them, When ye shall offer the first fruits from it, then shall it be reckoned to the Levites as produce from the threshing floor, and as produce from the winepress. 31. And ye shall eat it in any place, ye and your families, for this is your reward for your services in the tabernacle of witness. 32. And ye shall not bear sin by reason of it, for ye shall have offered an offering of first fruits from it, and ye shall not profane the holy things of the children of Israel, that ye die not. Habakkuk 3. 1. A prayer of the prophet Ambacam, with a song. 2. O Elohim, I have heard thy report, and was afraid. I considered thy works, and was amazed. Thou shalt be known between the two living creatures, thou shalt be acknowledged when the years draw nigh, thou shalt be manifested when the time is come, when my soul is troubled, thou wilt in wrath, remember mercy. 3. YEHOVAH shall come from Thaman, and the Holy One from the dark shady Mount Pharan. Pause. 4. His excellence covered the heavens, and the earth was full of his praise. And his brightness shall be as light, there were horns in his hands, and he caused a mighty love of his strength. 5. Before his face shall go a report, and it shall go forth into the plains. 6. The earth stood at his feet and trembled. He beheld, and the nations melted away. The mountains were violently burst through, the everlasting hills melted at his everlasting going forth. 7. Because of troubles I looked upon the tents of the Ethiopians. The tabernacles also of the land of Madiam shall be dismayed. 8. Wast thou angry, O Elohim, with the rivers? Or was thy wrath against the rivers, or thine anger against the sea? For thou wilt mount on thine horses, and thy chariots are salvation. 9. Surely thou didst bend the bow at scepters, saith Elohim. Pause. The land of rivers shall be torn asunder. 10. The nations shall see thee and be in pain as thou dost divide the moving waters. The deep uttered her voice, and raised her form on high. 11. The sun was exalted, and the moon stood still in her course. Thy darts shall go forth at the light, at the brightness of the gleaming of thine arms. 12. Thou wilt bring low the land with threatening, and in wrath thou wilt break down the nations. 13. Thou wentest forth for the salvation of thy people, to save thine anointed. Thou shalt bring death on the heads of transgressors, thou hast brought bands upon their neck. Pause. 14. Thou didst cut asunder the heads of princes with amazement, they shall tremble in it, they shall burst their bridles, they shall be as a poor man devouring in secret. 15. And thou dost cause thine horses to enter the sea, disturbing much water. 16. I watched, and my belly trembled at the sound of the prayer of my lips, and trembling entered into my bones, and my frame was troubled within me. I will rest in the day of affliction, from going up to the people of my sojourning. 17. For though the fig tree shall bear no fruit, and there shall be no produce on the vines, the labor of the olive shall fail, and the field shall produce no food. The sheep have failed from the pasture, and there are no oxen at the cribs. 18. Yet I will exult in Elohim, I will joy in Yehovah my Savior. 19. Elohim Yehovah is my strength, and he will perfectly strengthen my feet, he mounts me upon high places, that I may conquer by his song. Lamentations 1. 1. And it came to pass, after Israel was taken captive, and Jerusalem made desolate, that Jeremiah sat weeping, and lamented with this lamentation over Jerusalem, and said Aleph. How does the city that was filled with people sit solitary? She is become as a widow. She that was magnified among the nations and princess among the provinces, has become tributary. 2. Beth. She weeps sore in the night, and her tears are on her cheeks, and there is none of all her lovers to comfort her. All that were her friends have dealt deceitfully with her, they are become her enemies. 3. Gimel. Judah is gone into captivity by reason of her affliction, and by reason of the abundance of her servitude. She dwells among the nations, she has not found rest. All her pursuers have overtaken her between her oppressors. 4. Daleth. The ways of Sion mourn, because there are none that come to the feast. All her gates are ruined. Her priests groan, her virgins are led captive, and she is in bitterness in herself. 5. He. Her oppressors are become the head, and her enemies have prospered, for Elohim has afflicted her because of the multitude of her sins. Her young children are gone into captivity before the face of the oppressor. 6. Bow. And all her beauty has been taken away from the daughter of Sion. Her princes were as rams finding no pasture, and are gone away in weakness before the face of the pursuer. 7. Zion. Jerusalem remembered the days of her affliction, and her rejection she thought on all her desirable things which were from the days of old, when her people fell into the hands of the oppressor, and there was none to help her. When her enemies saw it they laughed at her habitation. 8. Heth. Jerusalem has sinned a great sin, therefore has she come into tribulation, all that used to honor her have afflicted her, for they have seen her shame. Yea, she herself groaned, and turned backward. 9. Teth. Her uncleanness is before her feet, she remembered not her last end, she has lowered her boasting tone, there is none to comfort her. Behold, O Elohim, my affliction. For the enemy has magnified himself. 10. Jod. The oppressor has stretched out his hand on all her desirable things. For she has seen the Gentiles entering into her sanctuary, concerning whom thou didst command, that they should not enter into thy congregation. 11. Chaff. All her people groan, seeking bread. They have given their desirable things for meat, to restore their soul. Behold, Elohim, and look, for she is become dishonored. 12. Lamed. All ye that pass by the way, turn, and see if there is sorrow like to my sorrow, which has happened to me. Elohim who spoke by me has afflicted me in the day of his fierce anger. 13. Mem. He has sent fire from his lofty habitation, he has brought it into my bones. He has spread a net for my feet, he has turned me back. He has made me desolate and mourning all the day. 14. None. He has watched over my sins, they are twined about my hands, they have come up on my neck. My strength has failed, for Elohim has laid pains on my hands, I shall not be able to stand. 15. Samek. Elohim has cut off all my strong men from the midst of me. He has summoned against me a time for crushing my choice men. Elohim has trodden a winepress for the virgin daughter of Judah. For these things I weep. 16. Ain. Mine eye has poured out water, because he that should comfort me, that should restore my soul, has been removed far from me. My sons have been destroyed, because the enemy has prevailed. 17. Phi. Sion has spread out her hand and there is none to comfort her. Elohim has commanded concerning Jacob, his oppressors are round about him. Jerusalem has become among them as a removed woman. 18. Sada. Elohim is righteous, for I have provoked his mouth. Hear, I pray you, all people, and behold my grief. My virgins and my young men are gone into captivity. 19. Kaf. I called my lovers, but they deceived me. My priests and my elders failed in the city, for they sought meat that they might restore their souls, and found it not. 20. Rex. Behold, O Elohim, for I am afflicted. My belly is troubled, and my heart is turned within me, for I have been grievously rebellious. Abroad the sword has bereaved me, even as death at home. 21. Chison. Hear, I pray you, for I groan. There is none to comfort me. All mine enemies have heard of mine afflictions, and rejoice because thou hast done it. Thou hast brought on the day, thou hast called the time. They are become like to me. 22. Thou. Let all their wickedness come before thy face, and strip them, as they have made a gleaning for all my sins. For my groans are many, and my heart is grieved. Proverbs 4. 1. Hear, ye children, the instruction of a father, and attend to know understanding. 2. For I give you a good gift, forsake ye not my law. 3. For I also was a son obedient to my father, and loved in the sight of my mother. 4. Who spoke and instructed me, saying, Let our speech be fixed in thine heart, keep our commandments, forget them not. 5. And do not neglect the speech of my mouth. 6. And forsake it not, and it shall cleave to thee. Love it, and it shall keep thee. 8. Secure it, and it shall exalt thee. Honor it, that it may embrace thee. 9. That it may give unto thy head a crown of graces, and may cover thee with a crown of delight. 10. Hear my son, and receive my words, and the years of thy life shall be increased, that the resources of thy life may be many. 11. For I teach thee the ways of wisdom, and I cause thee to go in right paths. 12. For when thou goest, thy steps shall not be straitened, and when thou runnest, thou shalt not be distressed. 13. Take hold of my instruction, let it not go, but keep it for thyself for thy life. 14. Go not in the ways of the ungodly, neither covet the ways of transgressors. 15. In whatever place they shall pitch their camp, go not thither, but turn from them, and pass away. 16. For they cannot sleep, unless they have done evil. Their sleep is taken away, and they rest not. 17. For these live upon the bread of ungodliness, and are drunken with wine of transgression. 18. But the ways of the righteous shine like light, they go on and shine, until the day be fully come. 19. But the ways of the ungodly are dark, they know not how they stumble. 20. My son, attend to my speech, and apply thine ear to my words. 21. That thy fountains may not fail thee, keep them in thine heart. 22. For they are life to those that find them, and health to all their flesh. 23. Keep thine heart with the utmost care, for out of these are the issues of life. 24. Remove from thee a froward mouth, and put far away from thee unjust lips. 25. Let thine eyes look right on, and let thine eyelids assent to just things. 26. Make straight paths for thy feet, and order thy ways aright. 27. Turn not aside to the right hand nor to the left, but turn away thy foot from an evil way. For YEHOVAH knows the ways on the right hand, but those on the left are crooked. And he will make thy ways straight, and will guide thy steps in peace.